So a lot of people ask me what changed my perspective, and I've shared this story before, but I will share it again. While in prison, I met a man by the name of Rashawn Clark. Rashawn and I came from the same town, but we had two completely different upbringings. I was a white Christian conservative, and he was a black Muslim liberal. Rashawn was sentenced to 20 years in prison at the age of 16 for one felony crime. He was the least culpable, he was the youngest, and nobody got hurt. I, on the other hand, had been to prison twice for a total of 10 years, and I have a total of 14 felonies. We were both sentenced out of the same judicial circuit, yet he got 20 years, and I was able to go to prison and go home twice before he can even get out for the first time, as a juvenile. Now, while we were in prison, Rashawn was placed on a DOT work squad in which he got to go out into the community and work. Now, typically in prison, inmates think this is a good thing. They get to go out the gate, they get to see the free world, they get to see civilian people. It essentially gives them time away from prison. It's almost like not being in prison while you're out at work. However, Rashawn saw it differently. In prison, one of the worst infractions you can get is a refusal to work. They can put you in confinement for 60 days and take all of your gain time. When Rashawn was placed on this work squad, he came back to the dorm and he told me, "I'm going to confinement." I was like, "What do you mean you're going to confinement? You got placed on a great job. You get to go out the gate. You get to be away from prison. Like, why would you go to confinement? Why would you refuse to work?" And he proceeded to tell me it goes against everything I stand for. He said it's slave labor. He went on to tell me about the 13th Amendment, the abolishment of slavery, except when punishable by a crime. Rashawn told me that prison work squads have become modern day slavery. He went on to tell me that police target poor black communities, put them in jail, and make them work for free. Then I researched and learned so much more. During the Jim Crow era, black people were relegated to second-class citizenship, disenfranchised from voting, barriers to housing, barriers to employment, barriers to education. 1964, we passed the Civil Rights Act. 1965, we passed the Voting Rights Act, essentially making it illegal to discriminate based on race. Well, in 2023, the only people that you can still legally discriminate against are convicted felons. You can relegate to second-class citizenship. You can create barriers to housing, barriers to voting, barriers to education, and barriers to employment. Now, do you think it's coincidence that in 2023, 1 in 3 black males carry the convicted felon label as opposed to 1 in 17 white males? And since the end of the Jim Crow era to 2023, we've had a 700% increase in our prison population. We militarized our police, we decreased school funding, creating the school to prison pipeline. We created a war on drugs. And by seeing this, I saw that our criminal justice system is the epicenter of systemic racism in America.